All right, in this next problem, I have a cone, and the question asks me to find the diameter of a second pile that is shaped like a cone, but with some different information. So I'll draw the second cone. Now they say that the volume is exactly the same in both piles, but the other pile is shorter. So if the other pile is shorter, I'm going to have to draw a wider cone so that it kind of makes more sense. That looks wider and shorter. Not really, but whatever. Alright, so the height is going to be 11.7. That's just because it's 3.6 feet shorter than 15.3. And I don't know what the diameter is. That's what they're asking me for. So I can write an equation, and I can say that the volume is equal... Oh, I know I'm using the volume equation because they're telling me about volume in the problem. So the volume is our link between the two. I can say that the volume of a cone is 1/3 capital BH. Capital B stands for the area of the base. So that would be equal to 1/3. Since the base is a circle, it's going to be pi r squared times the height. Now, for this one, I can only plug in for the height. I can plug in 11.7, but I don't know the radius. That would mean that I have a r in my problem and a v, and I can't solve a problem with two variables. So I'm going to have to do some math over here to figure out the volume. I can solve for that because I have all the information needed in this problem. So this volume is going to be 1/3 capital BH, which is 1/3 pi r squared h. So I can say that my volume is going to be 1/3 pi times the radius, which is 48.6 divided by 2, since that's the diameter, squared times 15.3. So if I go ahead and put that in my calculator, I'll get that the volume is 9,460.903135. I can now just use substitution and plug that in over here. 9,460.903135 is equal to 1/3 pi. Now the radius, remember, is going to be half of my diameter, so half of x is x over 2 squared, and then the height is 11.7. Now, since I'm solving for x, I have to follow the order of operations rules, but I have to do it backwards because I'm trying to isolate a variable. So first I'm going to multiply everything by 3, and then I am going to divide by pi and 11.7. Now, please be very careful when you put this in your calculator. I'll be honest with you, this is the second time I'm recording this video because I plugged in this number times 3. Then I hit divide by 11.7 pi, and I did not make it clear that I wanted to divide by 11.7 times pi. So I could have done that in 2 steps where I divide by 11.7 and then divide by pi. That would have been ideal. And you should get the number 772.1792,307. So you might want to use your calculator here a couple times just to make sure that you're not making the mistake I did when you do this problem. Alright, and that's going to be equal to x over 2 squared. Go ahead and isolate x further by square rooting. So I get 27.7881131 is x over 2, and then multiply both sides by 2 to get that x is equal to 55.576226, and they said they wanted me to round it to the nearest tenth. So, so that's going to be equivalent to 55.6 feet.